Hi guys, I'm over here walking around at the mountain bike trail near my house that I ride at and help take care of. I love being in the woods and always have since I was a kid. I don't know, it's just really nice to be able to have somewhere you can go and just kind of feel like you're getting back to yourself. And that's what I always get out of being over here, whether I'm working or playing. Anyway, I've been figuring out a lot of stuff this week about the sculpture and just my work in general. I heard an interview this week where these musical artists were talking about the album cover for their last album and how it was created by this female pop artist from Belgium. And she's dead now, but they got to talk with her son. And he was explaining that for most of her career, she focused on women. And her main point, I guess, of most of her work was treating her women in her artwork subjectively rather than objectively. Which I was kind of like, that's interesting. It sounds good. To be totally honest, I wasn't 100% sure what it meant, but I delved into it a little bit. And basically, a subjective, if somebody is, or something is the subject of a piece of art, they are like the main actor. They are, whatever the feeling or whatever's coming out of the artwork, they're originating it, it's coming from within them. And if it's an object, like an apple or whatever, it's just sitting there, kind of devoid of personality, and the thought is it's being acted upon, okay? And I guess that's where we get into discussions about women sometimes being treated as objects or whatever. Like the best example I could come up with, which is probably not great. I told you I didn't go to school for any of this, so I'm just kind of figuring it all out. But if you saw like a pinup style portrayal of a woman, like, well, we've all seen pinups, okay? We know what's going on there. But usually she's kind of like, ironing or something stupid like that, and there's like a little dog pulling at her skirt and she's just reacting, and it's the complete focus of the whole thing is like her body and just how it's moving, and she is being acted upon usually by some external force or something like that. And I was thinking about how I've always portrayed women in my artwork, but it's always really personal for me, and it winds up getting more and more that way the more I work on a piece. They all have like a story that goes with them, and they kind of, as weird as it might sound if you're not an artist, they become like a real person almost, or a real entity of some kind. Like in my mind, they have this whole backstory, and they definitely are not just an object sitting there, you know, to be looked at or whatever. I don't know. Is this even making any sense? Anyway, I just thought that was an interesting way to look at it. And I thought, wow, the way I think about my women's sculptures is even much different than the way I think about my animal and bird sculptures, which is something else I'm kind of known for. And I do work very hard at getting those to be believable on some level, even if it's sort of an idealized form. I want the movement or action to be, you know, pretty realistic or whatever. But whenever I do an animal, I'm usually thinking about like, what are they looking at? What is around them? What are their senses picking up? I'm not usually thinking about what is their story? What is their worldview? What are they going through emotionally? You know, it's just got a different spin on it. So Anyway, for whatever that's worth, I just thought that was kind of an interesting take on it, subjective versus objective. As far as myself, I've been, I think it's cabin fever or spring fever or whatever. It's been just like solid mounds and mounds of snow around here for months now, and it's been just bitterly, bitterly cold. Like today it feels like tropical out. I'm not wearing a hat or goggles or face mask or anything because it's a big 7 degrees above zero out. But I've been kind of feeling like I need to get back to being myself again. And it's kind of funny because that can mean a number of things for me. For one, I haven't ridden my bike now for months, and that's something like I really identify with strongly. When I'm on my bike, I really feel like, yeah, this is it. This is just totally me being myself, you know, like that 11-year-old girl or whatever that we all, okay, we don't all have an 11-year-old girl inside of us, but I do. And same with being in the woods. I don't know if you can pick up on this, but I sometimes have like blue streaks in my hair, and I haven't for a couple years now. I was like, I'm gonna do that again. Yeah. And that was kind of an interesting thought process too, because I thought, really, there are so many notes throughout my life that I hit and think, yeah, this is it. This is me being me. When I'm working a ton on my artwork, then when I get burnt out and I think, oh, I need to get back to seeing my friends and all that kind of stuff. Basically, there's no way it would be humanly possible for me to simultaneously hit every note I think of as me getting to be the real me, which is kind of cool in a way because it means that my normal state is a constant mixture of being partially in, you know, that whole thing of being totally me, and at the same time striving for getting back to or moving towards some state of being the real me. So, I don't know. Anyway, it's been a long winter. The sculpture's coming out awesome, but I'm not even gonna show it to you this week because her boobs are so horrible. Which sounds weird, but I don't know. It's just really not worth showing to you yet. It's coming along great. I've completely changed the body positioning. I'm really liking it, but what I'm liking, I think, is mostly still my image in my mind. You guys wouldn't really be able to see the coolness of it yet, so I'll just show that to you next time. Anyway, that's what's been going on with me. Next time, I promise, I'll show you the progress I've been making on the sculpture. Hang in there, have a good week. If you head over to the blog, I'll have some pictures by that other artist, and I'm sorry I can't remember her name, but check that out, and I'd love to hear some of you guys' thoughts on that whole, like, being the real you and finding that little comfort zone, what that means for you. If you have special places you like to go and just really get your thought on, or what state, does this even make sense to you guys? Do you guys relate to that whole finding the real you type of thing? Maybe it's just a weird artist thing, I don't know. Anyway, see you next time. Thanks, bye. I can't even breathe. Woman drowns on her own boogers trying to walk and talk at the same time in winter. Oh, Lord. Okay, come on, walk and talk at the same time, Sue. Sorry, I just got distracted by a deer walking around.